Hi, hello, welcome back to my channel Physics Magic by Habib. So today, work power energy part 4 we are discussing. In this today we are going to discuss mainly kinetic energy and its relation with the momentum, work energy theorem and law of conservation of mechanical energy and final part power. Now first we will discuss kinetic energy. You are all familiar because you have done questions also on this. So kinetic energy means the energy possessed by a body by virtue of its motion. Whenever a body is in motion, it will be having some energy. That energy we will be calling as kinetic energy. In order to keep that body into motion, we have to do some work, and whatever the work is done to keep that body into motion, that work will be stored in the form of energy. So that energy only we are calling as kinetic energy. Now, kinetic energy Ke is equal to half m v square, where m is mass of the body and v is velocity of the body. Straight away, very simple. And based on this formula, we have lot of questions in work power energy. So if you use this formula, happily you can solve all those questions. But mainly the question will be asked, what is its relation with the momentum? Mainly questions will be framed on this concept. So relation of this kinetic energy, relation between kinetic energy and momentum. So kinetic energy and momentum, what is the relation between these two? On this concept earlier many times questions are framed. So we know that E is equal to half mv square. Just do multiply with m in the numerator as well as denominator. Thereby we are getting half m into m square v square by m. And you know well, m into v, the product of mass and velocity, is nothing but linear momentum. So you will be getting here E is equal to p square by 2m. So you got a relation between kinetic energy and momentum. So for a given mass of a body, we can write here E is directly proportional to p square. Means the kinetic energy of the body is directly proportional to square of the linear momentum. So if momentum increases, kinetic energy increases. If momentum decreases, kinetic energy decreases. So based on this one, many times questions are asked. Now in another sense, keep p square this side and 2m you take this side, then it will be 2me. Then for a given mass of a body, you can write a relation like this. You can say P is equal to under root 2me, and P is directly proportional to root E. So these two are same relation only, but for your convenience I have changed it. E is proportional to P square, P is proportional to root E. So this is all about kinetic energy, relation between kinetic energy and momentum, and in the formula form also we wrote here. Now question will be asked, percentage change in the kinetic energy when momentum is changed, or when kinetic energy is changed, what is the percentage change in the momentum? This kind of questions will be asked in the competitive examinations. So let us see that one. Now if we go first this relation, then E2 by E1 is equal to P2 square by P1 square. E is proportional to P square. That's why E2 by E1 is equal to P2 square by P1 square. Then I can say further E2 minus E1 by E1 is equal to P2 square minus P1 square by P1 square. Just did minus 1 on both sides, and you know all these derivations are not required for you, but still I am explaining. Now just multiply 100% on another this side and this side, then you will get percentage change in Ke is equal to, here into 100% into 100%. Then percentage change in kinetic energy is equal to P2 square minus P1 square by P1 square into 100%. This 100% came in this E2 minus E1 by E1 into 100% will be commonly known as percentage change in kinetic energy. So percentage change in kinetic energy is equal to P2 square minus P1 square by P1 square into 100%. Now question is given like that. Here only I am telling a question, previously asked question. If momentum increased by 100%, momentum increased by 100%, what is the percentage increase in kinetic energy or percentage change in the kinetic energy? Remember, you can stop the video, you can once again you can listen my voice and you can understand this question and you can copy that. Question is this one: if momentum is increased by 100%, then what is the percentage change in the kinetic energy? Let us suppose if P1 is, if momentum is increased by 100%, then kinetic energy change what? Percentage change in the kinetic energy. So percentage change in the kinetic energy we are calculating here. You just see here is equal to, if you take P1 as P1, then P2 will be equal to 2P1, because if P1 is 100, P2 becomes 100% increased 100 times now, 100% increased per 100, this one 100% increased. If original is 100 more made, means 200 it becomes. So 100 plus 100. If 300% means if 100 plus 300. Like that, if P1 if you take 100% or P1, then P2 will become 2P1. 2P1 means P1 plus P1. 2P1 whole square minus P1 square into 100%. There you are getting 4P1 square minus P1 square. 4P1 square means P1 square and P1 square. This P1 square gets cancelled. Then 4 minus 1, 3 into 100% is 300%. So percentage change in kinetic energy is 300%. Very simple. But here I think you are getting some confusion. If P1 is equal to 100%, I will do here only. If P1 is equal to 100, then P2 will be equal to 100 plus 100. Then it will be equal to 200. 100% increased. So percent 100 increase. So that's why if I take this is P1, then this will become 2P1. Then automatically P2 becomes 2P1. 2P1 whole square minus P1 square by P1 square. P1 square. You take common. That P1 square, this P1 square gets cancelled. 2 square minus 4. 2 square means 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. 3 into 100%, 300%. So percentage increase in momentum is 100. Then increase in kinetic energy increase percentage is 300%. Similarly, if it is asked like this here, another question we will do here. That is, if kinetic energy percentage increase in kinetic energy or kinetic energy is increased by 700%. 700%, then what is percentage change in the momentum? Say just only I told you P is directly proportional to root E. Then P2 by P1 is equal to root over E2 by E1. Then P2 minus P1 by P1 into 100% is equal to root E2 minus root E1 by root E1 into 100%. So what he gave here, kinetic energy increased by 700%. So if it is 100, then it will become 800. Or for convenience purpose, let us suppose this is 800. Then if it is 100, then it will become 900. Therefore, what you will get here? Here is it is 900 minus 100 divided by 100 into 100%. So then this will become now, what you will get here? 30 minus 10 by 10 into 100%. So this is 20, 20 by 10 means 2 into 100% is 200%. So if kinetic energy is increased by 800%, then the momentum increases by 200%. So if momentum is given, we have to find out the kinetic energy change like this. If kinetic energy increase is given, we have to find out the momentum increase like this. So I hope you understood this clearly. If any confusion, you just refer once again. Here only you may be getting some confusion. 100% increase means if initial value is 100, then final value will be that one plus 100. So that's why it will become 200. But instead of hundreds, I wrote if it is P1, this is 2P1. That's why I did like this and simplified. This is very clear. I took as hundreds only. So 100, if original value 800%, per 100, 800 more. So per 100, 800 more means if E1 is 100, then E2 will become 100 plus 800. So 900 minus root 100 by 100. So simplified, I got this one. So this is a very, very important concept in kinetic energy and momentum relation. Let's continue the another very important concept, that is work energy theorem. Work energy theorem and the law of conservation of mechanical energy. These two we can call as heart of this particular lesson. Not only here, but in many lessons of physics, for solving many numericals, this work energy theorem will help us. Of course, law of conservation of mechanical energy is a consequence of work energy theorem. Now, let us discuss about this work energy theorem. Work energy theorem. Now, according to this work energy theorem, the total work done by all forces on a body is equal to change in kinetic energy of the body. The total work done by all forces on a body is equal to change in kinetic energy of the body. Now question arises, what is the meaning of this work done by all forces? How many forces are there? There are maximum of 3 forces possible. One is force, external agent force. If any external agent applies some force, that is external agent force, or force by an external agent. Then conservative force, then non-conservative force. So naturally you will be having 3 kinds of works. One is work done by any agent, then work done by conservative force, then work done by non-conservative force is equal to change in the kinetic energy. Very, very important. It's a powerful tool to solve many questions, not only in mechanics but in many other lessons. So focus on this. You will be getting a lot of information from this theorem. So work done by an external agent plus work done by conservative force plus work done by non-conservative force is equal to change in kinetic energy. And this is a simple form of work energy theorem. Now, in this one already we have learned earlier, work done by a conservative force is equal to minus change in potential energy. In our previous lessons, I told very clearly, work done by a conservative force is equal to change in potential energy with the negative symbol. Why this? I told you in my previous lessons. If you want to watch, the link is given in the description, so you can watch those lessons. Now, if you substitute that here, W agent minus delta U plus WNC is equal to delta KE. So now this change in potential energy I am taking to this side. Then I will be getting W agent plus W non-conservative is equal to delta KE plus I am writing delta PE. Minus goes that side plus change in U means potential energy only. That's why I wrote PE. So I can further write this as W agent plus W non-conservative is equal to total mechanical energy, because kinetic energy plus potential energy will be considered as mechanical energy. So total change in mechanical energy is equal to WAG plus WNC. This is how we got finally work done by an agent plus work done by a non-conservative force is equal to change in mechanical energy. Now let us suppose if there is no agent, means work done by agent will become zero. No agent, then no conservative force. The no conservative force means work done by non-conservative force is non-conservative, where non-conservative force is not there, then work done by non-conservative force is zero. Then automatically if you substitute in this one, then delta E, then what you will be getting here, delta E is equal to 0. WAG is 0 plus WNC is 0. Then both if I substitute there, delta E is nothing but 0. That is nothing but change in mechanical energy is equal to 0 when there is no agent and when there is no non-conservative force. Because when these two forces are not there, then work done by the agent becomes 0, work done by non-conservative force becomes 0. Then if these two 0, then delta E is equal to 0. That is nothing but change in KE plus change in PE is equal to 0. That is nothing but delta KE is equal to minus delta PE. That is nothing but K final minus K initial is equal to minus of U final minus U initial. So this is called law of conservation of mechanical energy. Law of conservation of mechanical energy. It is a consequence of work energy theorem. So we got here. This is here. That's why I am putting a heading here. Law of conservation of mechanical energy. Law of conservation of mechanical energy. So now you clearly understood this situation will arise. Our law of conservation of mechanical energy we will apply to any situation if work done by agent is 0 in that question and work done by non-conservative force is 0. If these two conditions are given, then only you can apply law of conservation of mechanical energy. No, these two are not 0. They are existing. Happily use work energy theorem. So now you got a very clear difference between this one and this one. When we have to use this, when we have to use this, you got a very clear idea. So finally you got this law of conservation of mechanical energy. This is also very, very important for you. Then finally I can say Kf minus Ki is equal to Ui minus Uf. Change in potential energy always equal to change in kinetic energy when no agent, no non-conservative force. So this is finally law of conservation of mechanical energy, and this will help you a lot. Finally, before closing this particular class, I want to tell you finally work energy theorem you have to use when agent is there and non-conservative field is there. When these two are absent, then use law of conservation of mechanical energy. So this is the complete information of work energy theorem and law of conservation of mechanical energy. And these two tools are going to help you a lot in solving many questions. Then how? That we will do in our next lessons. Now I hope you understood this clearly. I wish you very all the best and good luck. Practice it, read once or twice. You will be understanding a lot and this is going to help you a lot. Have a nice time. Bye-bye.